All right, hello. I'll give just a couple of minutes and see if some folks are going to pop on. Otherwise, you can catch the replay. So this is my first Facebook Live in this group. So I hope you can hear me and I hope you can see me. I think it's okay, but definitely comment if not. I guess actually I need to open this up in two places. Yeah, okay. All right, we'll see how this goes. Awesome. Well, I just wanted to say thank you for joining me today to talk about why you're not making enough money in your business and what to do about it. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Katie Collins, and I help coaches and wellness practitioners overcome your fear of sales so you can get fully booked and have clients and cash to finally be able to take that dream vacation that you keep putting off, or to actually just pay down some credit card debt, which would feel really good too. So basically, I want to help you get that time and money freedom that you heard about when you first got started. So I'd love to see who's coming on. I'm just curious how many of you have been struggling to get clients or to fill your healing practice with ideal clients at your full rate. So even if you're doing this later on and not live, go ahead and comment that is an issue for you, because I want to know who you are so I can support you. So, if that is you, I totally understand how you feel. That self-doubt that kicks in within the first hour of sitting down to do some work, and the worry and the anxiety about money all the time. And the feeling like if you aren't working all the time, then it must mean you're slacking off, and that was why you weren't successful, and so you berate yourself even more. So I felt that way too. I remember when I first got started in coaching several years ago, I really struggled to find clients who would pay my rate, which actually had been drastically reduced because I was new and I was comparing my hourly rate for coaching with the hourly rate that I made as a teacher. And so I just was like, oh my God, who am I to ask for more than triple what I made as a teacher? So I didn't quite understand the distinguished difference between being an hourly rate person with a job that has I didn't have a salary, I had an hourly rate, but that had health insurance and all sorts of benefits that came with it, versus an entrepreneur who only gets paid for the package but not for all the other time she puts into her business. And so anyway, I just remember feeling so confused and wondered how I'd ever get this coaching business off the ground if I could barely sell my service at these cheap intro rates. Until I found a coach who showed me that my pricing actually lacked alignment with who I was and all that I was bringing to the table. And so even though I was a new coach, I wasn't a new, human being. I definitely brought some things, had a lot of transferable skills from being a teacher. I'm really good at breaking things down for people. Obviously, I know how to instruct how to do something. I'm also quite good at creating curriculum and deciding what to put in, a workshop or a freebie or a book or whatever. And so, and I came with having the patience of a saint, because when it comes to helping clients, especially learn technology that they need and they feel like overwhelmed with all of that, I just had really good patience from working with the adult refugee population who was pre-literate and trying to figure things out every single day. So basically, my pricing had been based on my own lack of self-confidence, and that showed. And you know what? No one wants to buy from someone who isn't confident in what they do, right? Can you imagine going with a surgeon that's not confident in what they're doing? So nobody wants to work with someone that's lacking confidence. And so, maybe you've tried writing a blog or a newsletter, or you're going to networking events to meet prospective clients, but it just doesn't feel like it's working. And you've probably sat there wondering, should I just quit? Should I go get a job? Because I know I asked myself that. I even spent time looking for a job instead of taking action for my business, which is just funny and a waste of time. But I was really finding myself asking, do I have what it takes? What will I do if I can't pay my bills? And just like, oh, what is going on? Is it really possible to build a successful business and to find that time and money freedom that I kept hearing about? So if that sounds familiar for you, then you're in the right place, because this short training is going to be for you. So at the end of the training, I'm going to invite you to sign up for a free copy of my ebook if you don't already have it. It's called How to Get Good at Selling Your Service Without Feeling Uncomfortable. So you can learn even more about how to talk about what you do, how to share your personal journey in a really compelling way that makes people want to work with you, and how to navigate the actual enrollment conversation. So all that's wrapped up in the free ebook. I promise you it doesn't feel pushy at all to have these conversations and to enroll new clients. In fact, it feels so easy that I just know that eventually you're going to be saying what I always say, which is, I love sales. I really do. Because I know that I'm helping people transform their lives when they say yes to working with me. So more on that later, but let's just get started. And so I want to start off by telling you a little bit about who I am and why you should listen to me as a teacher. So for a few years, I served as a business coach and a sales manager for a very large coaching company in California. And what I would see time and time again with some of our newer clients was a lack of self-confidence and a resistance to sales. And with that came the frustration that they weren't making any money and fear that they never would. And that is heartbreaking. That really is, for me to see that. And the reason it bothered me so much was because these people are really talented. Their skill sets can literally change the world. They are leadership coaches, communication coaches. Lord knows people in our country need that. Energy healers, nutritionists, acupuncturists, right? They're helping politicians. They're helping cancer survivors. They're helping moms and caregivers and kids with ADHD and other sensitivities. So many groups that need our help, and it just broke my heart to see that their talent was potentially going to waste because they didn't have any sales skills yet, right? But even deeper than that, I noticed that most of them were women. Women who were single, who had no other income to depend on, or women who were married or partnered in some way, but their income was equally as important in their household. It was a definite two-income household, and they needed to bring in the dough. So I totally understood the pressure they were feeling because I'd been in that same boat. I didn't have anyone to rely on. I needed to make this business work or go get a job. And so I became determined to specifically help women overcome their fear of sales and self-promotion, because the world definitely needs what we have to offer. And it's really the year of the woman, and it's time to stand up and do what we came here to do. And I know so many of you are already on that path. So I'm just super committed to helping you make good money so you can stop worrying about money and whether or not you should quit and go get a job and all of that. And I definitely help my clients get results. I mean, my client Chris tripled her income in 90 days of working with me. Another one of my clients just had a $35,000 payday as a result of her offer that she made from stage. I've worked with so many women who were determined to increase their income, and they just needed to hire big support to do that without wasting any more time. That is like the biggest thing. Just stop wasting time, right? So I've been working with coaches, wellness practitioners, and other service-based business owners for 5 years now. And I've just noticed some big mistakes that I can't ignore. And it just seems like so many of you are making at least one of these mistakes that I'm about to share. And because of that, you're not bringing in enough cash. So what I want to do is talk about the mistakes and what to do instead. So first of all, before I dive in, I just want to say, if you're making any of these mistakes, it is not your fault. I totally did it too. And what I realized was I was hiding behind my perfectionist tendencies. And I was using somewhat of the hope and pray method of client attraction. Like, I really hope that people will come, and I pray that it'll happen soon. And though that method was keeping me broke with a capital B. And so let me tell you, I really made each one of these mistakes that I'm about to share with you. And I remember having to borrow family money from my family one more time with my tail between my legs. I was so disappointed in myself and really ashamed that I was asking my parents who were retired for money. But what that made me do was stay fully committed to hiring support I needed to build the business that I wanted to, because it was just like, my mom had said, look, you got 6 more months, and then otherwise I think you should go get a job. And it was a fair thing for her to say for the amount of time that I had been in business thus far. And so I committed to myself and to her, I'm going to make this shit happen. So what I'm going to share with you today, I think is going to set you up to course correct. That's what we're talking about today. And just make quick shifts so that you get out of the land of the hope and pray, if that's where you are, for new clients to arrive on your doorstep one day and really start taking action so that they're arriving right now. So does that sound good? All right, cool. Okay, so I think the first mistake that I'm noticing is for people that are just getting started and they don't yet know how to get in front of the right people to listen to you. And so you're ultimately talking to everyone and your message is landing like on no one's ears. And so, it's like doing even Facebook Lives every day, but not to a targeted audience, but to everyone. And maybe that's working for some, but generally you want to make sure that you're targeting your audience, because it can be so disheartening when you're putting out content on social media and you hear crickets, right? So my course recommendation for you is to really, really do the work required to understand who your ideal client is. So I talk about this in my ebook, where I really break down for you the importance of choosing an urgent problem that needs to be solved, and then how to write the verbiage of the exact solution they're looking for. So I used to always laugh when I first got my life coaching certification. One of the things that this life coaching company had told me was, in my marketing, was to say, like, we were on the ever upward spiral of becoming. And that made sense to me. I was in the work and I really understood what that meant. But in reality, there weren't any people out in the world saying, geez, I really wish someone could teach me how to get my life onto the ever upward spiral of becoming, right? Like, that wasn't the words they were saying. And so in my ebook, I talk about that. Like, what are the words that they're actually saying? And that's how you talk about what you do and the problem that you solve using their exact words. So the hesitation I hear from many of you is that you don't want to limit yourself, and I totally get it. But you see, by identifying a group of people you're talking to with an egoic label that they would call themselves, their ears are going to perk up because you're speaking to them. So what do I mean by egoic labels? It can be occupation, like entrepreneurs, small business owners, health coach, veterinarians. It could be ownership. iPhone users or homeowners or dog owners, right? Even renters. It could be the identity that people would use. And so moms or singles over 40 or cancer survivors. So those are egoic labels. And I have a list of those. So if you would like that list, let me know and I'll just send it to you. All right. Last thing I wanted to say about this is I just want to compare it to online dating. And I don't know if any of you are online dating the way I am, but I have like 5 dates this week. I'm very popular this week. But what I have learned in the many years of online dating is the same thing. Me getting super clear who I'd like to spend my time with and only being open to communicating with those people. Because if I put myself out there to go on any date with anybody because I don't want to limit myself in any way, and you never know where I'm going to meet the person, I'm spending a lot of time with men that are not at all the caliber that I'm looking for, right? So it's very similar to marketing. It's like, figure out who you want to work with and talk to those people. Okay, mistake number 2 that I'm seeing all the time is just this: lack of action. to be sure that you've got enough leads coming in, right? So it's what I was doing when I was stuck in my perfectionist tendencies. I knew that I should follow up with people, but I was afraid of what to say, and I didn't want to come off needy or pushy at all. And so I took no action because that was very safe. I could just sit back here and wonder where my people were. And, and then I wondered why I was still broke. And so if this is you, if you are someone that isn't taking as much action as you could, then my course correct recommendation for you is to have the courage to send personal emails or Facebook messages to people who are following you, who are asking you questions, who recall you from events you've met at, because these people have already noticed you. So reach out and see how you might be able to support them. Okay, so I remember, I've done several speaking gigs, and so I'll get a lot of friend requests, and if I don't recognize the person and I don't know, and they don't send me a message, I don't always accept it because I don't know who these people are. But if I know that they were at a speaking gig, so if I get an increase of requests because I recommend that at my talk, then of course I let them in because I want them to be able to chat with me and connect with me. And so if they're recalling me and they want to stay connected with me, yay, right? And so I belong to some groups and I go to as many meetings as I can. And so I see people over and over again and they remember me and they ask me questions. So that's what I'm talking about. People who know you. Reach out, have the courage to see how you might be able to support them. The most important thing is to just take action. If your goal is to get new clients, then you should be taking at least one action every day towards that goal, okay? And really, the main thing is you got to get out of your comfort zone because that's where the new clients are waiting for you. So any resistance that you have, and if you're playing a safe, small game in your little comfort zone, it's not going to lead you to the big results that you want. Okay, so take action. All right, the third mistake that I see over and over is the resistance to raising your rates. Because some people already can't afford you, and so I think you tend to be afraid to take that leap. So I'm going to say this. Please stop allowing your past experiences to dictate your future choices. Okay? I'll say that again. Stop allowing your past experiences to dictate your future choices. So there will always be people who can't afford your services, and it's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to bring down your price. It's why you create freebies and low-level offers that leverage your time but help you reach more people and make a bigger impact. But those aren't going to pay your bills. Freebies and low-level offers, right? They're not going to pay your bills. So it's really important to serve those who can and are willing to invest in your premium one-on-one service. So I remember when I first started selling business coaching, I was charging $3,500 for a 6-month program. If you have never signed up for business coaching, that is super cheap. And this was probably four or 5 years ago. And when I first hired after the conference, so I was broke, selling $3,500 packages, nobody was buying. My mom said 6 more months and you're done. So I hired a coach, and he said, he encouraged me to raise that to $5,000 at a minimum. And I asked him, how could I possibly raise my rates when no one's even buying the $3,500 package? And he told me it was too cheap. And people didn't trust me because my coaching was priced so low. It kind of screamed newbie. And so as soon as I raised my rates, literally, I raised my rates, I had a consult the next day, I sold my very first $5,000 package, and then I sold another one a week later, and boom, that was my first $10,000 month. Just like that. Broke as a joke, like a couple weeks before, crying to my mom. I remember exactly where I was when I called her, crying, asking for money, and then boom, here I am, made $10,000 in 1 month. Holy crap, because I raised my rates. That's why I wanted to tell that story to you. So don't let those numbers boggle you if your numbers are way off from mine, whether they're way higher or way lower. Not the point, okay? The point is if you know you need to raise your rates and you're afraid of it because you don't think people will pay it, to me, your soul is telling you to raise your rates. And when you do, when you honor the value that you're providing for your people, then the universe honors you by bringing you more people. Okay, so my course correct recommendation for you is to price your products and services based on the value of the transformation that your clients get from working with you. So what is it worth to them, right? It's not about how many sessions, and I've made this mistake before, counting out my sessions and, okay, I want to make X number of dollars per session times 12. Okay, my package is this. It's not about that. It's really about the value that you bring to them. And so if you're going to be able to, I know you can't promise that you're going to help a woman become pregnant, but if the work you do has an amazing success rate of helping most women who work with you become pregnant, what is that worth to them, right? If I can help you build your business and get you out of this rut of spinning your wheels and not quite knowing what to do and having no one to give you feedback, and because of the feedback and the work we do together, you end up tripling your income in 90 days, what's that worth to you? What's the value of that? So that's where you want to come from when it comes to pricing. And then, it's also about alignment of how you feel with the offer you're making. So I had a client today that she's gonna sell a group program, and her original rate was $297. She was gonna bump it to $497 this year, just as some growth. But she had put on her website that the regular price was $997. But we had just spent 10 minutes with her telling me that it wasn't at all worth $997. So I was like, take that off your website. That's not aligned. You don't even believe that it's worth $997, and that energy is stuck energy that's not going to get you anywhere. It's that stickiness, right? So really make sure you feel really aligned with whatever price you're putting out there. So I talk a lot about the being and the doing when it comes to sales in my ebook. And one of the points I make is that it's important to not let your fear of being pushy get in the way of you serving the highest good for your potential client. So you've got to be willing to stand strong for what you believe in. That includes your prices. So it's not about offering them a discount, right? When they tell you they can't afford it, don't back down. You want to really dig in and just get curious with them and take a stand for them and take a stand for the value that you're bringing to the table, okay? So I know easier said than done, but definitely feel into this and see how it feels for you. And check in with your pricing and check in with yourself and ask yourself, is it time to raise my rates? All right, so that's what we've got time for today. I want to keep these kind of short and sweet, but before I go, I want to give you just a couple of resources to help you start to make money, like right now, because that's what I want you to do. And I want you to reach out and tell me when you had a sale. I had a client yesterday call me twice because she made 2 sales in one day after I gave her my powerful enrollment template. And it's just exciting. I love celebrating your sales because, like I said, it's not even about the money. It's about the value and the transformation that we are putting out in the world for our work. So here are a couple of freebies. The first one is the ebook I mentioned earlier. So if you'd like to grab a copy of that, it's free. Again, it's how to get good at selling your service without feeling uncomfortable. So you can get fully booked with clients and have cash to finally take that dream vacation or pay off the credit card debt. Either way, it feels so good to finally have the time and money freedom that you were promised and that you were counting on when you first got started. So if you'd like that, just go to my website. It's coachkatiecollins.com and enter your name and email. It's just a landing page because my website is under construction. So there's nowhere to get lost. You'll just land there, enter your name and email, and you'll get that resource. And you'll also get a 7-email series that is chock full of content about sales and building your business. So you'll get one like every other day or something like that. So check it out. That will subscribe you to my list, obviously. Okay. The second thing is I decided to offer a Show Me the Money strategy session. So if you're watching this either live or later on, comment below or send me a PM. I only have room for 3 of these, 3 Show Me the Money strategy sessions. So let me know ASAP if you would like one of those, and I will save you a spot and we'll book it. All right. So just to qualify for that free session, you do need to be a coach, wellness practitioner, or any other service-based business owner. You've already earned some money in your practice and you're willing to invest in yourself in your business, both time and money, to course correct and to start making the income you really desire. So if you're ready to get fully booked with your ideal clients while still having fun, still having time for family, still having time for adventure, just grab one of these Show Me the Money sessions and we'll talk about how you can get there. All right? So, yay! Thanks for being here for my first group live. My intention is to be here weekly on Thursdays. I don't know if it's always going to be at 4, but that is my intention, to be here weekly on Thursdays. I'll keep you informed in the group and also via email. So if you've got questions or you want me to talk about something specific, just send me a message. All right? Mwah! Have a good day. Bye.